Te hablo desde la prisión, Wilson Manyoma, Borbona.
I'm about to switch it up. Good. Woo. Masters and None Podcast, episode 80.
Episode 80.
Episode 80, and we are here. I was just looking through Instagram real quick. I was just like scrolling through doing regular, and I get a notification I got a follower, so I go there, and then I just start from there. I go down a rabbit hole of just looking at people's things, and I come across people that are calling themselves Bitcoin traders.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look through their posts and nothing about Bitcoin trading. Yeah. I
And
guess,
why just a Bitcoin trader? Why not like does that mean that user like doesn't use any of the other cryptos?
I don't know. Maybe that's somebody that wrote that bio before there were others, and it was just Bitcoin. They're, a Bitcoin kind of foundational trader. They were there from day one.
People put the fucking weirdest shit in their bios. People put the shit that they wanted like other people to be impressed by.
Yeah. People put what they wish they were a lot of times.
Yo, what up, Seeker?
I think that's
Bitcoin trader. I think it's cool. Did you hear about you probably didn't hear about this, but in Spain the other day, the police did a raid on a house because it was using like too much power, and they thought there was like a cannabis grow op going on inside.
Huh. And how wrong were they?
Dude, they kicked in the door and it was
Waving the 4-4.
yeah, they kicked in the door, waved in the 4-4, and all you heard was there was mining.
Papa, don't hit me no more.
there were mining machines, like crypto mining machines. And they were like the whoever was like mining crypto in there was like illegally pulling power from like, the pole or whatever, but that's what it was that was generating so much heat. It wasn't lights from growing cannabis. It was fucking like mining machines.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you walk in and it's just like a fucking hundreds of video cards like hooked up on boards. It's just boards with like fucking video cards like lighting up everywhere.
Perfect.
I don't know. Oh, it's fine.
I thought it was funny.
That is
but
funny.
That's crazy. So these guys are mining Bitcoin. Now, please, I'm kind of a complete and total layman when it comes to this idea of like crypto and what it is. And so mining clearly is creating Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're giving their they're giving their resources for, what? I had a really good like analogy for like what this is, but I can't even explain it now. I forgot what it was, and I don't want to ruin it because there are people out there that really know what the fuck they're talking about. But it's essentially you're sharing your resources, like your usage on your computer, and you're mining coin. I forget right now in the moment like what the real technical process is, but yeah.
All right, so they're
You're
just
like creating it, I guess, I suppose.
So they're making more of said crypto.
Yeah.
To be dispersed. So is that legal? Do you need
Yeah, no, it's legal. That's how they make it. That's how it happens. That's why
I thought they said there's a finite amount. Have we not reached that amount yet?
Dude, I have no fucking clue.
Because isn't that the whole thing? It's a finite amount.
When Spaz gets in the chat, I'm sure he'll educate us on on the process of mining crypto. But the truth is that I truly do not know if like the finite amount or this or that. I do know you can mine currencies.
Okay, so
and you're essentially sharing your resources. Like by resources, I mean like your computer resources. Like it's using your machine.
Okay. All right. So I guess like you said, we'll have to gather a little more info because I think to myself, I wonder how, because what they say makes it keep its value is that there's a
finite amount. And yeah. So listen, if we were alone and we weren't broadcasting, I would be happy to lie to you about how the fuck this process works. I'd be so down to fucking lie to you.
Yeah.
But in fear of looking like an idiot. Like I don't, and I did know a good analogy. I was just talking to somebody the other day and I was explaining it to somebody else and I was like, damn, that's a damn good analogy. But I can't think of it. So sorry. But essentially they thought they were growing weed. They kicked in the door. It was actually people mining some kind of coin. I don't know if it was Bitcoin or Ethereum, any of those coins.
Was it Dogecoin? They just had a bunch of Shiba Inus running on.
They just had a bunch of dogs on treadmills,
on hamster wheels or something like that.
Funny. I bought in on Dogecoin when it was like It was way higher than it is right now. I think it was like 30 cents. And like this was when like the hype was like, it wasn't even like the hype was real, but the hype was pretty high. And then it went up to like 60, 70 cents. And like everybody's like, hold. And like I held. And like now it's not worth dick. Like I'm stuck with to have this negative equity in Dogecoin.
You know, I did that shit with a fucking stock. My boy was like, yo, I'm going to buy this stock. It was like a penny stock. He bought it, made a shit ton of money. Like a shit ton of money. Like he made almost $1 million.
Yeah.
And I just didn't buy at the time he did. So I bought it when it was a little more. And I made some money, like a decent amount for considering what I invested. But then I just held it. Meanwhile, it's not the kind of stock that you hold.
Oh, so it took a shit and then you lost your money?
No, I didn't lose all of it, but it's sitting nice and flat.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, fuck, man.
You gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them.
Well, what are you going to do? I mean, that's the name of the game.
Tell you what I did. I went and duck and doubled down, bought more fucking Doge the other day because you never know.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you do never know.
Listen, anybody who's got 50 fucking Bitcoins right now is doing very fucking well. So if one day it does get up to that point and I got fucking 80 of them or however many I have,
yeah,
I'll be a rich man.
It could be something that pops off 20 years from now.
That's how Bitcoin is.
You know? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it, you know, like, because Bitcoin really is like years and years before all the others.
Yeah, correct.
Right? That's like the Godfather coin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Dude, there's people like, there's a guy who traded, he didn't have food for his family. Like, you know, I guess he had lost his job or whatever. And he traded, I think like X amount of Bitcoin for like pizza one day. And like now, if like you did the conversion, and he gave the guy like $1 million worth of fucking Bitcoin for fucking pizza.
Look at that. Just to save your kids' lives.
And
Look at the mistake you made.
Well, at the time, it probably wasn't worth, you know, it was probably worth the pizza.
Yeah, of course.
But
and
now,
I mean, you know, it's a difference between, you know, don't worry, Charlie, we're not going to eat tonight, but you'll thank me 20 years from now.
Spaz says it's a complex process. Can you just, you know, the easiest part I think to explain is what's happening. No, you know what? There is no easier part to explain.
Yeah, there's nothing easy about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing
I was
easy
going to
about
say to explain the resource part, like how it uses your computer and all the other computers, like the power of your computer, like whatever processing power or X power to mine coin, and how it affects the other coins. But you know what?
Yeah, it's just something that's way deeper than my comprehension. I don't understand the process of mining something that doesn't exist tangibly. You know, I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, not going to touch it.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Just like NFTs don't make any sense to me. I can't help but feel like NFTs are total bullshit. You know, I haven't seen a single NFT yet to this point that like really kind of makes me understand why they're valuable. I have no idea.
I understand why they're valuable, but listen to this. It was like, he says it was like 2,500 Bitcoin. It was the first recorded sale of Bitcoin. Can you imagine?
2,500? That's like almost all the Bitcoin that exists, isn't it?
Bro, that's...
Isn't there like
so if you look at what Bitcoin's trading at right now, right? Let's see. So we could see what that's... 38,000. So 38,000 times the amount of coins that he gave that dude for that pizza.
38,000 times 2,500. Yeah. That's like $1 trillion.
It's at least a gajillion.
God, that must have been the best. I hope it was the best goddamn pizza ever.
I think it
that
was
guy
less
looks
than
at his
that.
kids and he hates them every day.
Spaz says it's 2,500, but I think it was a little less than that. But or maybe, but either way, bro, it's crazy. Like when you think about it. But listen, that happens all the time when people sell cars that go up in value. You know, I'm sure that your dad back in the day probably had like a badass car, right? And if he would have kept it till that, maybe your dad owned a Corvette or something like that in the 60s.
Yeah.
And and he sold it like every other guy who owned a Corvette in the 60s.
Exactly.
But a couple guys kept them, and then they never drove them or whatever the case may be.
It just garaged them forever.
Yeah, and those cars are worth tons of money. Listen, I seen a Honda Civic, a Type R, the EK.
Yes.
So that's 2000 and forward. Yes. I think it's like 97 and forward. Anyways, doesn't matter. A hatchback sell for 62,000 the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. I've seen it's about like some people get shit and they just never drive it, or they buy it for their mom and their mom never drives it and it stays in the garage. Like a car with like super low mileage, especially something like that that's just got like this huge cult following, like it's worth something. And it's like the guys who, a kid one time when I was young traded me the first appearance of the Punisher,
A comic?
a comic, for like, you know, $250 and a fucking Easy Wider or something like that. And if I would have kept it in good condition, because I still have it, it's not in good condition. If I would have kept it in good condition, it'd probably be worth, you know, a decent chunk of change.
Yeah, like $5,000, something like that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's at that point, your mentality becomes like a hoarder, right? You just start thinking about hanging on to everything because it might eventually have some value. You know, it's like even clothing and styles and stuff like that, like vintage T-shirts now, like T-shirts I literally had when I was a kid. Those same shirts that are still around are selling for, you know, $50, $60, sometimes $100.
Dude, your
and
mom's
stuff.
FUBU jacket is probably like, you know, $350 right now.
For real, bro. For real. Yo, like, you remember those Averix jerseys and shit?
Hell
You remember them
yeah,
Averix jackets? Like, all that kind of stuff is like, it's considered like vintage. Like, I just wore yesterday, I was wearing this shirt that I got. I got this at like this pop-up shop, like this consignment pop-up shop. And I got a 1997 vintage Bulls championship T-shirt.
Damn, that's fire.
From when the Bulls won. It had like Jordan and everybody on it, like all on it like this. And me and my girl had gone to this like pop-up like trade show. You know, and we went there and we bought it. We actually bought it from this dude, Paul Cantu. I don't know if you know that guy. He's like a big YouTube like reseller.
I heard the name.
Stuff like that. Yeah. So he sells some fire stuff. I got this dope from this other guy. I got this fire Guess vintage shirt.
You were wearing it the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
The price on things go up.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting from my perspective, obviously, because I'm like an automotive enthusiast. I like the way it happens with cars. Like, you know, there's cars that weren't worth a lot of money. Like the price on cars go up and down.
Yeah.
You know, right now, it's hard to find a Miata that's cheap, believe it or not.
Yeah, nah, but I believe it, bro. I believe it.
5 years ago, you could buy one for a couple $1,000s beat up. Like now, it's like multiple $1,000s for one that's beat up. You know,
Yeah.
and it's not just like that's on the small scale. On the large scale, there's, you know, cars that have gone up. You look at the Japanese market and all their cars, dude. All their cars are through the roof.
Yeah.
Right now. And now certain cars are becoming legal to bring in. Those cars are going through the roof. Even the cars that aren't illegal to bring in are still fucking through the roof. People are buying them and just housing them in Japan.
Huh. Is that just the car culture that just happened to select those cars, or those cars became popular, or is it related to the Schmamic?
No, it's not related to the Schmamic. It's two things. A, people have more money now, right? Because when the economy is doing good, you know, people have excess money. They could buy things like...
The economy's doing terribly.
Well, we're not in a recession.
Yes, we are.
Are we currently in a recession?
Yeah.
Is it as bad as the housing crisis in 2008? Because that's what brought the price of everything down like majorly, right? When you think about it,
because we have inflation and shit going on right now, and a lot of shit that's raising prices. That's
all kind of recent, right? It might be coming on, but like people just started talking about inflation recently.
Yeah,
the gas prices are crazy, but
they kind of said, I think that they considered it to be a recession to a degree.
Maybe we check all the boxes for recession, but nowadays there's not like people like. It's not like 30% of the people out there are fucking defaulting on their loans and shit like that.
I guess not. I don't really know. I guess the criteria for what determines a recession.
Regardless,
yeah. But either way,
people have money right now that they have excess money right now. Some people do. Maybe we are in a recession and a couple of people aren't affected about it. Regardless, that brings the prices of these things up, right? Because people can afford them. But not only that, there's a finite amount of these things. And we're getting closer and closer to the time where like these things are going to, some of these cars are going to become legal to bring into the States. And then
I think it's more so that like a limit on supply than it is like surplus money.
No, because
people definitely don't have a surplus of money right now.
No, dude, cars take a shit when people don't have any money, because especially classic cars, because it's such a fucking luxury. Nobody needs to own, you know, a fucking Corvette from the fucking, you know, a 62 Corvette or this car or that car, or, you know, nobody needs to own that. You need to just, so when there's no excess money, the price of those things just take a dump.
I guess.
So regardless of the fact the price is going up, right? And one of the things I
Yeah.
wanted to say, you were like, what makes what like who picks the cars? Some cars are just fucking timeless. That's why I sold the Mazda, because I recognized that it wasn't going to be a timeless car.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it might be down the road. You know, it might be down the road. It might like kind of resurface a little bit. You know, like the Supra kind of just resurfaced, like, you know.
Seeker just said in the chat, try to buy a 240 for under 10 grand. That's a perfect example. Drifting is becoming more and more of a thing. It's becoming more mainstream. It's not just for like, you know, people who like only know about cars. It's like coming out and like everybody wants to do it now. Same reason why the Miata's going up in price. But it's the same exact thing. Cars that you could buy for like a couple grand back in the day, like now they're fucking through the roof. And the 240SX is a perfect example.
That's crazy. I knew multiple people that had 240s. Like
Yeah.
multiple, like people would have like more than one. They'd have like one in the yard, like parked up and shit, and then they'd have one that they were actually driving, and that was like their like project car or
They
whatever.
get hit with the drift tax now. That's the fucking new thing. Like people like, you know, the price is up.
Because they know that it's being used for a specific purpose.
Because it's a very popular chassis for that, like, you know, that form of driving, and it's like it's got limitless aftermarket support. It's like a proven chassis that people have, you know, done limitless R&D on, that you know that if you get in that car and you do XYZ to that car, then you should be able to drive, like, you know, and if you don't, it's your driving ability, not like the car. It's got a lot to do with there's actually a lot of fucking math in drifting, but yeah, it's a proven chassis. I think that's why people like it so much, and it's cheap. It was cheap at one point, not anymore.
That's crazy. See, I don't really know that much, like when it comes to cars and shit. Of course, you know, I try to keep up a little bit and stuff, but the trends change so much, and like technology advances so much that it's tough for me to really keep up because I'm not really entrenched in it.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I'll give you a number reference, right? And don't quote me on any of these numbers, but I think these are rough numbers. I think 3-4 years ago, you can get a Nissan Skyline, like an R34, the ones that you still can't get out here, the one that Brian drove in the Fast and Furious, and the second one. I want to say they were like 55 grand, 60 grand for like a GTR, not for like a GTT. And now I think they're like 100 and change.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's some wild shit, man. I'm looking. You reminded me because as you're talking about these car prices and like not knowing which one's going to be so super popular and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't always know what car is going to be timeless. I mean, like this Supra that just came out, the newest Supra. We don't know what that car, if that car is going to be as recognized as the MK3, like the last Supra that came out.
Yeah,
the last Supra that came out is like some people's like fucking
dream car.
Exactly.
That's like some people's Ferrari.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So
yeah.
we don't know. This new Supra's sick. It's cool looking. It's nice, but we don't know if it's going to be timeless yet.
Yeah, and and it's a lot of cars I feel like that were groundbreaking at the time they came out. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes when there's that one thing about them that's different from all the other cars that were out around that time, if that car has that, it has a better chance of being, because even when other cars catch up and also have that type of feature, the first one that had it always kind of has value. Like the first car that had what is it? Like the differential or whatever, like
all-wheel drive?
Yeah, shit like that. Like a lot of cars came out with all-wheel drive, but I'm sure the first vehicle that had all-wheel drive, people like that shit's still gonna hold some value.
Yeah. Some of them, something like, I'll give you a good example. The Nissan 300ZX, right? Super expensive car when it came out. Very expensive car. Right now, you can, they're comparable in price wise to like a 240, which was like a commuter car. It wasn't necessarily a sports car. Like it came with a single cam motor in it. Yes, there was a sports version that came with a dual overhead cam. There was like three different motors. There was like the single cam, then there's like a dual cam KA, and then there was like the SR, which was like their race spec. But it was still at the very most it was a 4-cylinder turbo. At the very least, it was just a regular 4-cylinder.
Okay.
So I think that's one of those cars that nobody knew at the time was going to be kind of like one of these timeless cars, but it came out and it was like timeless. GTRs and shit like that, I think that they were always like, due to be timeless. They were a Godzilla, what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
But some cars, you're right, like you don't know they're going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah, you have
and
no
then
idea.
Years later, it's just like what happened? Like this is just,
yeah,
whatever it might be, automotive perfection. I wonder if that was like, it was like that back in the day with the RX-7. I wonder if the RX-7 was like, supposed to be as big as it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You mean the original one that had like what did it have? It had like a different motor, right? It had like a
well, the rotary, but that wasn't the first car to come out with a rotary motor.
I have no idea if it was or it wasn't. I just remember that's what people would always mention when they talked about the RX-7.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest, like, well, definitely like the biggest like unique factor about the car versus like other cars is that there's no pistons. It's like rotors.
That shit is so crazy. It's and I feel like this
more than one way to skin a cat.
There is. It's and again, this is like what makes things unique versus other things gives them value. Like I'm being I just bought that MPC. I just bought that MPC 2500. So I just bought the MPC 2500 and it made me like kind of look into other gear. I looked into other gear just along the lines of just looking for that particular piece, right? So then this vintage gear, like in terms of music production and stuff, because that's what an MPC is. It's a beat machine, if nobody knows what it is. It's like a sequencer, and there's a synthesizer that came out in 1974. It's called a Mini Moog. So it's just a synthesizer like keyboard, and it's got knobs and stuff, so you can change the sounds and stuff like that. This is actually what it looked like right here. That's what it looked like right there. Right, so when this thing actually came out, it was $1,500. Bro, now they're selling like refurbished and stuff. Like they're selling for $16,000.
$16,000. It almost want to make you. I'm sure people gave these away too.
Oh yeah, these were sitting in like thrift stores. I'm sure sometimes.
I seen them talking about it in the chat. I'm sorry I missed you guys. They were talking about Pokemon cards. That's a fucking great example.
That is a great example.
Dude, I gave away so many Pokemon
I
cards.
gave away a binder. It was a binder full of all holographic, like Charizards. I had like 6 Charizards. I had like all this stuff that I was just like, this shit is corny. Like,
yeah,
once you like outgrow that, you just give it to like the first little homie or your little cousin or something where you're just like, oh man, he's into this. Here, I'm about to start you off with some, toma. Now he's living in Miami in some South Beach condo.
Yeah,
from selling my.
What's the next thing? Like, what is going to come out now that's going to be worth a ridiculous amount of money later? I know right now, like the people are big on reselling, like, they're big on reselling people's merch, like influencer merch, like if you or musician merch, like if you go to a Travis Scott concert and you get like exclusive Cactus Jack shit that they only sold. You have the shirt that you have to be at the concert to get it, like things like that. But what's going to be like the next thing that's like 20 years from now, these things are going to be worth money. Or is that gone now because they mass produce everything and everything's you can kind of get your hands on whatever you want.
It's weird now because there's a lot of people that make like unapproved merch.
Yeah.
Because that stuff I think will still have value. Like I have a t-shirt that I bought in the parking lot of the Jay-Z Eminem concert at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, that's why I turned it. That's a big adjustment. I think that's why mine went. That's why I think I was so low before, was that I went too far down. Now I think you went too far up and then went back too far down.
Oh, it said Justin Mike down. So I was like, let me turn him down a little bit. And I guess I pushed it too far up.
I don't know, guys. I mean, doing what we can here. Appreciate the, the feedback. But the DJ that has so many words including synthesizer, it's incredible. Yes. May know the. All right. So somebody asked in the chat if I know the DJ that has so many keyboards. I'm still too far up. So right now we're taking some advice in the chat here. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick.
Well, my mic isn't muted, so they can still hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard was Justin feeding our audio back into the microphone. If you do that, like, it ends up creating like this never-ending loop. It's actually pretty entertaining.
A never-ending loop?
You ever like streamed like a stream, like streamed like your OBS, and it just creates this never-ending loop of like.
But it's not a never-ending audio, right? It's like a never-ending like video sequence.
We can't hear you.
Oh. So it's not. Is it a never-ending video sequence, or you hear audio looping?
Well, if you were to play audio through it, it would loop too because of the delay, and it would just continue looping. But it's fine, man. I'm not super worried about it.
All right, so we should be at a decent level there now.
I hope this is a good level.
All right. So,
If it's not, we'll have to fix it next time.
and Coast is an audio engineer, so that's why there's so much. He's
He's definitely listening to this on some nice ass headphones. So talking about,
You know.
yep, it's off.
Yeah. But
You want to talk about The Winning Time, the HBO show
yeah, we could talk about Winning Time.
about Magic Johnson?
Yeah, so it's a docuseries that's coming out on HBO, and it's about Magic Johnson. What I found interesting was he says he's not looking forward to it and he's not going to be watching it.
Because he ain't getting paid, because that's probably exactly what that means.
But I'm sure they would have to pay him. Like, you can't just not cut somebody a check, like making an entire film off their likeness, using their name,
he said they didn't reach out to him about that movie.
Well, he didn't say that. He said that there's a Showtime show that he's involved in that's coming out. So I'm thinking he might not. Maybe he okayed the show, but then they were supposed to schedule it differently, and he was probably like, yeah, just let me put mine out first on Showtime. Maybe something like that. But I don't know, because I don't think he's too big of a name, and I'm sure he's trademarked the name Magic Johnson. Like, if I were to come out as a rapper named Magic Johnson, I'm sure I'd get a cease and desist.
Nah, you can't be a ball player named Magic Johnson. You might be able to rap.
You never know.
Is he a musician?
No, he's a basketball player.
No, has he? Come on, bro. How many basketball players have come out with music albums?
But there's a different time,
I don't know, bro.
He played in the 70s, bro.
I don't know if he made a mixtape at one point. And at that point, his name would be trademarked because he was used in that industry.
No, but it's different, though. It's not
he's
like...
a basketball player. Motherfucker,
Yeah.
I watched the trailer, too.
I'm like, what do you think? You think he's a country music singer or something like that?
No.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. No. But I actually want to watch it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd love to see it. And it says here, Oscar says they're making Jerry West the bad guy. They're making him a bad guy. If anybody doesn't know Jerry West, he's one of the best point guards that ever played in the history of the game. He's actually the logo. If you don't know that, he's the NBA logo. That's his silhouette dribbling.
Really?
Yeah, that's Jerry West. He's like the best, one of the best point guards ever. Like, he won the MVP on the losing team.
Yeah. What the fuck was the logo before he was there?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But that's him. He's that's like his silhouette. It's like a photo of him that they took that from.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
That's actually one thing I'm looking forward to watch. Another thing I'm not looking forward to watch is a new Batman movie.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm done. I mean, I don't need to see Twilight playing Batman. Come on, son. You sparkle in the sun, B. You can't be Batman, bro.
There's two reasons. A, I'm kind of over the whole Batman thing. B, they keep, and I talk about this all the time when I talk about superhero movies. They keep changing the fucking Batman. Batman's supposed to be one guy. Imagine the comics. They just kept changing how he looked. Like, one day it was like a Dominican guy playing Batman.
Well, that's Spider-Man now.
And then another day there's like a Swedish dude and he's playing Batman. And then, it's like no. They always kept Batman looking the same way. And when you make the movies and you change the actor every fucking couple movies, whether it be because it's a different studio or if it's a different this or a different that, I don't know. It just kind of fucking ruins it for me. Imagine they just pull Johnny Depp out of Pirates of the Caribbean and they put in fucking somebody else.
I think Batman might be a little different because Batman became a thing in Hollywood. Like,
changing the superhero person.
Batman, it became a thing. Like, there's always been a different Batman. Like, there's, think about it. Michael Keaton played it twice.
I guess because it's been out for so long, right? It's unrealistic to think that there'd be like one consecutive Batman because they've been coming out since like, I don't know, like when was the first Batman?
There was a Batman TV show that I used to watch when I was a kid that was terrible. It's like, so, but then it became a thing like that. Who's playing Batman? Like, that it's been everybody.
People wanted to know who's going to be the next Batman.
Yeah, because Batman became that one superhero that was always changing.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. I don't. That kind of ruins the authenticity for me.
I think the only thing I think is worse than that when they have the same guy play multiple superheroes.
Oh, forget about it.
They had Captain America is the Human Torch. The same guy. And I think
possible?
He plays another one too.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? What the hell? I think he's like, well, who else is he? He's like Gambit or some shit too.
I'm sure fucking Aquaman's going to get a couple of those too. That motherfucker's going to be, he's in the new Fast and the Furious.
Aquaman? Was he drive a jet ski?
No, not Aquaman. The guy who played Aquaman. Fucking.
I got you. What the hell is his name?
The guy looks like a real life fucking Maui, not The Rock. The Jason Momoa.
Yeah, that's right. Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa's legit though, man. He's pretty legit, man.
Just as legit as The Rock and Kevin Hart. I love them all.
No. The Rock is
not as legit as The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Way more legit than The Rock.
Way more legit than The Rock.
The Rock is trash in a movie. Bro, it's a hokey nonsense. You go to a Rock movie and expect to see a good movie.
Bro, I feel the same way about Jason Momoa.
I guess. I mean, I'm partial. I'm definitely biased because
why you think he's handsome?
No, because that show C is badass, and I've seen him.
Oh, okay.
I've seen him play badass characters.
He's kind of the same badass in every movie.
Well, it's a legit badass, though. The Rock is a clown in these movies. He's like, yo, bro, he did the rock bottom in Fast and the Furious in a fight scene.
I don't even like The Rock, but I will defend him and say that he is more diversified than this guy, than Jason Momoa is.
Wait, we're talking about acting prowess? I thought no, we're talking about cool. We're talking about level of cool.
The Rock is way cooler. How dare you?
The Rock is cool.
The Rock isn't cooler
in a movie than Jason Momoa?
I don't know.
Jason Momoa is a Dothraki horseback riding pillager. Are you kidding me? The Rock is he did the people's elbow, the people's eyebrow in a movie.
Bro, this guy's done like 3 movies maybe. The Rock has done a lot of fucking movies where he's been fucking very cool.
You think The Rock is cool? You know where people can hear us.
I don't think The Rock is cool. I don't want people to think I like Rock movies. I've said it before on this podcast that it's too much Rock. I'm just saying that this guy definitely ain't cooler than him.
You watch Jumanji over and over, don't you?
Nah, I've watched it though.
You definitely have.
I had to give it the benefit.
You watch like Night at the Museum and shit like that.
I watch it for this show.
Jesus,
I watch it so we can talk about it. It's research.
The Rock is corny as hell. Coach says he's mom cool. For real. Let me guess. You be listening to Pitbull too.
I'm telling you right now that fucking Jason Momoa is the most mom. He's way mom cooler than fucking Rock.
No way.
Women loved. Whoa.
I've never seen The Rock in a movie and been like, damn, it'd be pretty cool to be this character.
It's just saturated at this point. You telling me you didn't like him in The Mummy?
No. Are you kidding me?
That was a joke.
You definitely wish you were the Scorpion King.
That was a joke. I gotta pull up this guy's fucking, discography or his movie fucking, whatever they call the movie shit.
Who's this guy?
The Rock, so I could see what roles he played where I thought he was kind of fucking badass.
Yeah, you thought he was good as that football coach, I bet. That coached the jail kids.
That movie was fucking terrible.
It was like Gridiron or some Gridiron Gang, I think.
You know what? He doesn't play cooler characters. I will give you that. But I think he's cooler.
He said dude was the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, I'm looking at his movies and I'm like, yeah, the Tooth Fairy's one of them. The game plan. You see, yeah. I mean, okay, I'll give you San Andreas was a very good movie.
I didn't see it.
It was an award-winning film.
Oh, yeah? What awards did it win?
Award-winning. What awards did it win?
It probably won Best Special Effects in a film. What do you think? Go ahead.
Let's see.
And I don't care what awards it won. Since when do good movies win awards? The King's Speech swept the fucking Oscars one year.
I didn't watch that.
That movie's trash.
No, I don't know what.
It was about a king who learned how to stop stuttering and give a speech. I was like, this shit sounds like a children's book. Like, are you kidding me? This was like the dog that stopped pissing on the carpet. So one day, Timmy took the dog out and then eventually stopped pissing the rug. That's a kid's story.
Wait.
He overcame his stutter and he read that speech.
I just realized something. Did you say something negative about Pitbull?
I said, you listen to him for sure.
Because you were a Flow Rider fan when I met you.
Get the fuck out of here.
When I met Justin, he was the biggest Flow Rider fan I met.
Fuck out of here.
I didn't even know that Flow Rider spelled Florida. I didn't know it. Justin told me that. He's the one that told me. He was like, Flow Rider.
Why are you lying? Why are you lying, bro? Why are you lying? Why are you lying, bro?
I have to pull myself out of this rock hole
I made a joke.
In.
You told a lie. Those are two different things,
all
bro.
Right, listen, the truth is that I don't like Pitbull and Justin doesn't really like Flow Rider. But I do think The Rock is badass. You know what? You know why I thought that is because, he's been such a badass character in my life,
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
The Rock's a badass, bro.
He's a motivational dude, and in real life, he's a badass.
Yeah.
But his movies are cringely corny.
Yeah, his movies are pretty fucking terrible.
They're pretty goddamn corny.
So I think so is he more in real life badass than Jason Momoa?
No.
Holy fuck.
Jason Momoa is badass without trying to be.
He just looks badass, bro. This guy's The Rock.
I mean, it is what it is.
Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, The Rock, well, no. If you have all the information about the people, The Rock is way more badass. Like, in terms of, like, his achievements and his grind and work ethic.
I don't even know about that. Can you give me some Jason Momoa facts I don't know about? Did he played college football? Could he have made it to the fucking, the show?
No, I don't really know. I'm really was basing that off of like characters.
Does he just have a rocking body? Is that the only thing we're working on?
I mean, even so, The Rock's physique is the man is granite.
Yeah,
you're not beating The Rock's physique on all that
juicy's
testosterone and steroids.
Yeah, The Rock's fucking shredded.
Guy was like, "Yep, I'm gonna decide to get in the best shape of my life at 50." Everyone's like, man, look at that. That's what happens when you have 4 dozen eggs every morning.
That's what it is. He just eats eggs and his mama's plátanos. If Jason Momoa ranks so high on your badass list, is there anybody above him?
Who? Say it again.
Jason Momoa, because he ranks so high on your badass list, is there anybody who ranks above him? Like fucking...
We talking about what? Like Hollywood people?
Yeah.
A lot of people that rank above him.
Like,
I think...
Keanu Reeves? Is he more badass?
Keanu Reeves? Yeah. No.
The Matrix? The guy from The Matrix? Tom Cruise? These guys have done like many action movies where they play badass characters.
I'm badass, more badass. I need to know
what your standards are. Like, what are you judging off?
I think Jason Statham is a badass in a movie. I think Daniel Craig is a badass in a movie. Like, that's a badass. I think, to be honest, Jason Bourne, one of the baddest characters to ever be put in a film. And it's played by Matt Damon. And I damn sure believed his badassness in that movie.
You don't believe Keanu Reeves?
No. I believe him in John Wick a little, but...
Why'd he really be doing that shit? That motherfucker really be shooting guns, riding motorcycles and shit.
Well, I'm talking about the character and what they...
Yeah, the characters in the movie.
And how they make me feel about do I believe it?
Okay.
So John Wick, I believe. Mm-hmm. The Matrix, I don't believe. He doesn't get me to believe him in that role.
Yeah.
I believe him in Bill and Ted.
Okay.
100%. Whoa, man. Yeah, that I believe. But I don't believe that badassness that he's got. There's some people that they don't give it, like, perfect example. Who's the white guy in Power?
Oh, you're going to ask me? I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's like supposed to be the most badass character in the whole entire show. And he does not convey that to me. I do not believe that man is as bad as they try to make him.
Joseph Sikora.
Let me see if it's the guy I'm talking about.
Dude, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, this guy. That howdy doody guy does not make me... I don't believe that. Like, if you're going to put somebody in that role that he's believed to be the most gangster, and he's the most gangster of everybody in the whole neighborhood, I need a guy that gives me a little of that gangster.
Spaz just left, put it in the chat. This is a good one. Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
that guy just strikes me as like he could just take a swig of whiskey and still beat my ass at like 60 years old.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys like I don't know, there's just a vibe to me, almost like I need to believe you.
Nicolas Cage. When he walks the fence.
No, he's not even in the yard. Get that guy out of here. He's not walking the fence. Get him out of here, bro. You know who I believe is a badass? Like Tony Soprano. I believe the badass on that character 100%. I was 100% sold on that. Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. I'm 100% sold on that character being a real badass. Die Hard, Bruce Willis. Exactly like that. Mel Gibson in like Braveheart. Mel Gibson in The Patriot. Like,
Gibson's great, yeah.
In a couple of those films, like, there's just, Brad Pitt convinces me a lot.
Dude, Achilles?
Brad Pitt convinces me a lot. Brad Pitt
Did you say Gerard Butler?
Gerard Butler, yes, I do believe that. Like, he convinced me in Law Abiding Citizen and, of course, in 300. I was 100% convinced by those guys. Who else? Let's talk about some that did not convince me. Like The Rock, no. That guy on Power, absolutely not. I know people hate me for that. I always get shit.
About the guy from The Power?
Yeah, they're like, yo, he's the baddest. Yo, that dude is a killer. And I'm like, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'll give you the guy from Power. The Rock doesn't play badass in the movies, except for the Fast and Furious movies, which I think, kind of sucked ever since he got on them anyways. So, I stopped watching after Tokyo Drift. But, so I can understand why you said The Rock. So I agree with you on those thus far.
Yeah, I mean, I Dr. Evil is more badass to me than The Rock in movies.
It's the same character.
It's like how I feel.
He also is fucking Austin Powers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think
badass.
I'm trying to think of other people that don't convince me. Will Smith, he could be. In the right role, he convinces me.
Bro, they're talking about doing an I Am Legend 2.
Really?
Yeah, and
I wish I got my money back for I Am Legend 1.
Dude,
I'll go ahead and
terrible
sit back.
taste in movies, bro.
I'll go ahead and just sit back and
You didn't like I Am Legend 1? You must have not liked iRobot either.
I loved iRobot. My girl almost left me because I love iRobot so much. We can't even pet, please.
Bro, how'd you like that, but you didn't like I Am Legend, bro? That movie was great.
I don't know. It was all right.
What? Oh my god!
It was all right.
Is it because he was by himself? Did you not like Castaway?
Castaway was all right, but Castaway to me was it compelled me more. I was in the story. I was in the story. The guys were lame in I Am Legend. They were just bald gray people.
Well, get ready because I Am Legend 2 is going to introduce Michael B. Jordan. I don't know how he's going to get in there, but he's going to be in that movie.
Oh, great. That's great.
I know my girl's super excited about it.
About Michael B. Jordan being in there? I don't know.
Michael
B. Jordan's best role to date was in The Wire.
What?
When he was like that 16-year-old kid taking care of his family.
I thought you were going to say he was in fucking The Black Panther.
I don't even think I saw that whole movie.
That was a good movie.
There was so much hype around it that I was like, let me just wait a little while. I always get let down. I gotta wait for everything to calm down, and then I could watch something.
I'm not really into superhero movies, as you guys could tell by my Batman comments. But I thought it was pretty good.
Spaz said in the chat about I Am Legend. He said I Am Legend. Dude has the option of every car in New York City, and he takes a Ford Mustang. Hard pass.
That's a fact. That is true.
Berto's like, I would have got a 240.
I would have got a 240. I'd definitely probably catch me in something Japanese though. That's a fact.
I probably would have. It depends, man. I would have been like, you know what? There's zombies around here, and there's a finite amount of gasoline. I'll just take this Prius. Thanks.
Prius. You know what's good in those like situations?
A Volkswagen Beetle.
No.
A smart car.
I guess a TDI Beetle, a diesel one. Only because it's diesel would it be beneficial. But
gotcha.
Like those overlander trucks that people be building.
Oh, hell yeah.
FJ, 4Runner.
Yeah, zombie can't get you in a rooftop tent.
No. Well, those cars have the ability to kind of, navigate terrain that a fucking Volkswagen Beetle wouldn't be able to go through.
Oh yeah, for sure. If there's some down branches in the road, you're fucked in a Beetle.
Yeah,
but you're
obviously,
good in a truck.
You're not going to camp in the tent, but I'm not comparing it to like the superior. Like, I'm not saying it's as good as a helicopter, right? Because let's be honest, if you have out of every option of like a vehicle to be able to escape a zombie apocalypse, helicopter's better than any other option.
I don't know, man.
What?
I don't.
It's better than a boat.
Yeah, it's better than a boat.
Better than a car.
Yeah, it's better in certain senses. Because it's like weather has to be ideal. What if the zombie apocalypse happens on a windy ass day?
Nah, helicopter's still getting up. It's good.
Yeah, it's getting up, but then it's coming down.
But it's good to get up and get out of there. You can't live in that helicopter, but you put yourself somewhere, get some distance between you and these zombies, between you and the infected area. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be ground zero or not. Helicopter.
Yeah, that's true, but
boat is good too, though.
But if it's windy, you're fucked in a helicopter.
Yeah. Boat's actually really good because you could just leave and live on that boat forever in the middle of the sea.
Well, not forever.
Not for, as long as
you need
you have
fuel.
supplies.
You need fuel.
Not to just fucking float around.
Where are you going to get water?
There's like water tanks in boats, so you can have fresh water. As long as you have supplies, you can live on that boat.
I guess you could collect rainwater. Yeah.
And you could collect rainwater. That's another thing. And there's like, dude, there's people that live on boats.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So you can 100. So boat is a very good one. Only because you can live on it.
Boat's pretty good.
But helicopter's up there.
Yeah, helicopter is up there. Helicopter's up there. I don't know, man. A lot of helicopters been like on the fritz lately.
What, helicopters?
I don't know. Yeah, helicopters are going down. You didn't see like that chopper went down in the beach, like in some town, like a couple weeks ago. It probably
has to do with all the people. You know, there's like way more people buying planes and shit now, right? Because lately, since Trump was in office, because he put like this bill that you can buy. There's like this tax loophole where you could buy like a plane as like a tax write-off, and it's like a dollar for dollar thing. So if you owe the IRS like $5 million, you could just buy like a G4 and write it off.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So like that's why like the jet and plane industry like kind of jumped up during his administration, and even now people are still like buying like planes and shit like that.
Jesus, I had no idea. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that was a thing.
So I wonder if that has anything to do with like more people crashing in planes.
It could. I know a lot more people that aren't really as qualified as they should be are trying to learn these things.
It definitely is like a rich man sport, but I'd like to fucking know how to fly one of those puppies.
I'm good on that. I am good on that.
Listen, if a zombie apocalypse comes, you want to have something to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? You get a nice little Cessna in the backyard.
Yeah, you also need a good a Cessna ain't taking off from a standing position. Come on.
No.
But I don't know. All I know is I'll be running fast as hell because I have some sneakers on.
Well, if you got,
clearly I don't got them Yeezy slides.
I was just gonna say you wouldn't be able to run fast in the new Yeezy slides.
No, I made the funny ass mistake this morning. They came out at 4 a.m. this morning. The new colorways on the Yeezy slides. Mm-hmm. I tried to get them at like 8. Computer laughed at me, bro. Every website was like
at 4 o'clock in the morning in 30 seconds they were sold out.
Yeah, I think that's even generous.
People with bots buying them up.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to see like, how much. I think they were like $70 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the resale? I wonder what they resell for.
Oh, the resale's like $300 probably, I'm sure.
I wonder how comfortable they are. They got to be comfortable.
They look super comfortable. They look super, super comfortable.
I can't, you know what? I'm a fan of buying dumb shit. Like the other day I was looking at like Yeti coolers. You want to talk about wasting money?
My boy has like 2 of them,
They're so fucking nice. Yeah. But for me, it'd be like a waste of money. If you're a fisherman, then go ahead, buy a Yeti cooler.
You gotta make sure that you utilize it to its full capacity.
Bro, I was a cunt hair away from buying a $300 cooler that I didn't fucking need.
Yeah.
I don't got plans to go nowhere.
Yeah. It's funny though, because it's like I've gone out with these coolers like with friends of mine that have them and stuff. And I mean, they keep ice in them for days.
Yeah.
Like days. But then I think to myself, I'm like, this is good for a lot of things that I'm not doing.
That's my thing. That's what I was talking to somebody about this at work. I was like, I'm so crazy. I can't believe I was even thinking about buying this. And I was like, why the fuck? I'm like watching reviews and I'm like trying to convince myself. I'm like, this thing keeps ice frozen for 7 days.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck would I need to keep ice frozen for so long?
I don't know, man. It's like I think about the same shit. Because I was going to get my Jeep like completely done up, like roof rack. Like I had a roof rack in my cart ready to check out with like rooftop tents and like, and I was like, I want to have this. I said, but the reality is like in New York State, it's not even legal you can't even like camp in that thing on like campsites in New York State, really. There's very few. Like you got to go upstate, and not on Long Island anyway. You can't camp anywhere that doesn't have a built-in toilet inside of your vehicle.
Oh, that sucks, yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, that shit is stupid. I'm like, you mean I can't sleep here unless I prove to you that I have a built-in place to take a dump?
Well, joke's on you. I shit in the trunk.
Yeah, we're outside. Joke's on you. I shit while we're moving. Right at the door, brother. Joke's on you, son. They're talking about Yetis in here and Yeezys. Let's see. The Yeezys in the chat. Yeezy most comfortable sneakers I've ever owned. Yes, they were. I was talking about the slides, and yes, I think they're both super comfortable. And Owen here, Yeti we used at work kept cold and full of ice for a week. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to use it, that's a good thing.
If you use it, they're 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get one so I can go to the beach like for one day with my family and then go home and empty it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is crazy. Because even like there's a lot of coolers that are less money but are still good coolers that are super effective.
You could buy an Igloo for a fucking fraction of the price.
Igloo's trash.
It'll keep your ice cold for a day.
20 minutes.
No way.
Igloo sucks, bro.
Really?
Bro, that shit is full of water in 20 minutes, bro. That shit is terrible.
Did you have a bad experience with Igloo fucking coolers?
Like 10. Them shits suck.
Listen, regardless, even if you get the styrofoam ones, like, you know, they're good for a day trip.
Those are better than an Igloo.
I never had any bad experiences with Igloo coolers.
Igloos just, to me, they're just like, they're pretend.
My fucking,
because I use them on beach days and like they're in the sun and shit like that. And it's like, if you can't keep shit cold on the beach, that's like Cooler 101.
Yeah, you're better off bringing like a hydro flask or a fucking or a Yeti cup.
Yeah, I'm better off just, you know, bringing just like anything. Really,
don't
like
you have a Yeti cup?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Ah.
Yes, and Yeti. I have a Yeti tumbler. Yeah, that shit is special. I fill that shit with water and ice, and it'll stay in there in my car in the summertime. It'll still be cold. Like the next day, it'll still have ice in it.
It's like that with those cups. With those they like perfected the tumblers.
Yeah, the tumblers are
not just
are
them companies like because I have a hydro flask and that shit it will stay frozen with ice in it for a minute.
Yeah,
you know, same thing. Hot summer day, you get to your car, your shit's still freezing.
And the Yeti's good too because I use it for my coffee in the morning. You know, so I'm like, you know, and it keeps it hot. Like it'll keep it hot for hours. You know, it'll still be hot, and that's you know me and my coffee, bro. You know, I gotta have my coffee, man.
Yeah. It's got to be nice and warm. I don't like cold coffee.
Yeah.
I drink it if I had to, but I'm not a fan of it.
He said, there goes your Igloo sponsorship. I don't want to sponsor that bullshit product. I don't want that product. What am I going to come on here and tell people to buy some bullshit? Hell no.
Tell everybody to buy Igloo.
Hey, guys, go and buy this Igloo that's going to make all your shit go bad. And also, what I wanted to talk about was a little bit of that UFC card that just passed.
Yes.
That UFC card cost me a lot of money because it was full of fights that were impossible to pick. But apparently, Berto hit a 6-fight parlay.
I hit 5-fight parlay.
5-fight parlay, and I hit one fight.
The entire main card. I called every fight on the main card.
Yeah, that shit is crazy, bro. And
I didn't put enough money in, so I didn't make a ton of money. But yeah, listen, I was up like $70 or something like that.
But it's good. It's good to talk shit.
Yeah,
I mean, goddamn. I don't think I parlayed. I think I parlayed one card in my life, and nobody knew about it.
You know, like all the favorites won. It wasn't like a fucking and you know what? I made a couple other parlays that I lost, so it wasn't like I made one bet and got it easy.
Yeah,
like because I had another parlay where I picked Moicano, and obviously he didn't win. That guy got the shit beat out of him for 5 rounds straight.
He did. I was surprised. I was like, I thought for sure he was gonna beat Rafael Dos Anjos. I thought he was gonna like take his back and choke him. Dos Anjos hasn't fought in like a year and a half or something like that, and he had injuries, but he definitely looked like he's on the sauce.
Dude, he was fucking shredded.
Yeah,
he looked so good, man. He called out Jorge Masvidal yesterday.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's funny. You come off of a really strong win and you call out the loser.
Jorge Masvidal's a fucking payday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but...
It's a payday and almost a guaranteed main event spot.
I mean, it depends what you're going for, I guess. You know, if you're looking for money, good call. You know, if you're looking to move up the division...
It's not going to fight Colby.
Why not? Why wouldn't he call out Colby?
Colby would beat the shit out of him.
I guess you're right. So
he's better off calling out like Leon Edwards or something like that.
Leon Edwards will whip his ass too.
I was just saying, Leon Edwards is going to be more merciful than fucking Colby would.
Yeah, you're right. It'll definitely go to 5 rounds. Colby will finish him in 3. He'll finish him in 3.
Mm-hmm. Put a baby in that man. But, you know, we always got to give the benefit of the doubt to Moicano, given the fact that he took this fight on such short notice.
Yeah. I mean, he took the fight on short notice. But, and I think what was worse was that he just made weight previously for a fight 21 days ago.
Yeah.
So he just had a fight. And that's why this fight, you know, they fought at a catch weight because of that.
Yeah. I know they fought at a catch weight. I just thought it was because it was so soon.
Yeah, I think it was he couldn't make the fight weight.
They offered that fight to Islam Makhachev too. I mean,
Wait a minute. He called out Jorge Masvidal? Masvidal is a 170 pounder.
I just read the headline this morning.
Didn't Dos Anjos fight lightweight on Saturday?
They fought at catchweight, but yeah.
But he would have fought at
They would've
lightweight.
fought lightweight.
They fought at 160.
Because I don't think that this guy wasn't able to gain enough weight, you know? I'm saying that's what it wasn't.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So I don't know. It's gutsy of him to take the fight.
Listen, people want to fight people where there's money for the same reason why Dustin decided to fight Conor instead of fighting for the belt. Because there's money in it, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, and the title fight's still going to be there afterwards.
Title fight will always be there.
It'll still be there.
And if you
afterwards.
beat Conor, it's like you're going for that, next.
Yeah, Colby was saying crazy stuff about Dustin.
He was calling him a cuck, telling him Conor's his kid's dad and shit.
Yeah, man, that shit was crazy.
Dude, but Dustin said he'll never fight him. He said he'll only fight him like in the street. Said he'll never fight him in the octagon.
Yeah, because he knows Colby will wrestle fuck him.
You know what? How is that, right?
Colby's much bigger though. Yeah, I don't think it's a
he
fair
says
fight.
that Dustin's bigger than him in like real life. He says Dustin's much bigger than me. He just fucking cuts down to 55.
I mean, that's possible. He's a big boy.
Dustin's not small.
No, he's definitely not. Colby says he don't cut weight. He's like, I don't cut weight. I fight at my weight. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's why he's got that cardio also.
Yeah.
He's not depleted like these other guys.
Nope.
But God, that guy's pace. But Jorge did crack him in that fight.
He did.
He cracked him and dropped him for a second, but he never took his eyes off him. He was like, dink, went down and popped right back up. I was like, woo.
They were asking him that all night in the post-fight interviews, like, do you think you should have rushed him when you cracked him? It's like, one of those, like, who the fuck knows what would have happened? Because you rush a guy like that and he grabs you.
Well, he would have rushed him if he had the gas tank. You could see when he clipped him and he stepped back, he was like, thank God, I got a second.
It sucks too because, like, I'm sure, like, the masses, they want Jorge to win, right? People want Jorge to win because it's a good story. Kobe's talking so much shit. Somebody finally shut this guy the fuck up, and like, he went in there, and from round 1 to round 5, it just wasn't. It was clear that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, Colby's too much, man. Colby's pace is I get tired watching that guy. That shit is exhausting, but. It was interesting. Just the card in general, I thought was a really good card. There were a couple of fights. A couple of the female fights were crazy. Beat the shit out of each other. And it's like, I mean, if you're gonna be savage like that, I'll watch any undercard fight.
Facts.
Anybody going after it like that, That's where I'm at, bro.
So, man, we're over the hour.
Wow, that shit flew.
Did it?
Yeah.
Pretty sure we're over.
Hell yeah. So I think you're right. I think we are over because we went.
We are over the hour.
Yeah. All right, man. I mean, this is Masters and None, episode 80.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? You want to tell the people where they can find us?
Yeah, man. You can find us. You can find us on any audio podcast platform. That's Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you consume your podcast. Stitcher, doesn't matter. And then you can also catch us right here. You could also watch this stream on Twitch for the next 30 days or so, because that's how long videos stay up, I believe. Yeah. So you can go there and check it. You can check us here to rewatch it, and you can also give that a little thumbs up, a nice smash, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel.
We gotta start exaggerating, saying like, yo, destroy the thumbs up button, slam the thumbs up button, suck the thumb button. That's it. Masters on episode 80. Yeah.
Episode 80.
Oye, te hablo desde la prisión. Wilson Manyoma. Borbona.